We will continue to learn about complex numbers in rectangular or Cartesian form, and the objective of this video is to perform addition and subtraction of complex numbers in rectangular or Cartesian form. Just like real numbers, we are also able to perform operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on complex numbers. Let's start with addition. If you're given Z1 and Z2, both are complex numbers, and you would like to perform Z1 plus Z2, which means I would like to add the two complex numbers together. What we will do is take the real part of complex number 1, add to the real part of complex number 2, and then do the same for the imaginary part. So I get plus J, take the imaginary part Y1 plus imaginary part Y2. So the overall idea is to add the real parts together and add the imaginary parts together. Let's try an example. Simplify J3 plus J7. So since we are adding these two complex numbers together, I'll have to add their real parts together and then add their imaginary parts together. Now both these complex numbers are pure imaginary number. They have no real parts. So all I need to be concerned with is to add their imaginary parts together. So J3 plus J7, I'm going to take out the J like a common factor, and then I'm going to put a pair of brackets, and inside the brackets will be 3 plus 7. And 3 plus 7 gives me 10. So my answer is J10. Next, I'm to perform this addition. To do that, first let me get rid of the two pairs of brackets. So I have 2 minus J5 plus, multiply into minus 3 will give me minus 3, plus sign multiply into plus J4 will still be plus J4. Once the brackets are removed, I will then put the real part side by side and the imaginary part side by side before I start to manipulate them. So 2 remains, minus 3 comes to its side, and then minus J5 plus J4 will be side by side. So now I'm going to evaluate what is 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3, since they are real parts, 2 minus 3 gives me minus 1. How about the imaginary parts? Let me write it as plus J multiply into a pair of brackets, and inside the pair of brackets would be minus 5 plus 4. This minus 5 is from this term, plus 4 is from this term. So take note that if there's a minus sign here, there must be a minus sign here. So copy down the minus 1, copy the plus J. Minus 5 plus 4 gives me minus 1. So the final answer will be minus 1 minus J, and that is my final answer. Now we can also perform subtraction of complex numbers. If I have Z1 and Z2, and I would like to take Z1 minus Z2, then the outcome will be x1 plus jy1 minus x2 plus jy2. Now it is very important to put a pair of brackets around each of the complex numbers because there is a negative sign here and it's going to affect the sign later when we remove the brackets. So now let's remove the brackets. x1 plus jy1, no change. But this minus sign will make this become minus x2. And this minus sign will make this become minus jy2. Now let me put the real part side by side. And then let me group the imaginary parts together. So plus j bracket y1 minus y2. y1 because here is plus jy1 minus y2 because this is minus jy2. So this is how we do the subtraction. Let's try an example. I'm given this minus this. So first, I'm going to open up the brackets. I get 6 minus j2. Then opening up this, I get minus 4. And opening up this, I have minus j5. Now, let me put the real parts side by side. And then the imaginary parts, let's also put it side by side by writing as plus j bracket multiply into negative 2 minus 5. Let me explain why negative 2, because this imaginary part is negative j2. Why minus 5? Because over here is minus j5. Now let's tidy up. 6 minus 4, the real parts add to 2. And over here, minus 2 minus 5 becomes minus 7. And the final answer is 2 minus j7. Here is a quiz. What is the answer for this? So what I'm going to do again is to open up the brackets. So I have j5 minus 6 minus 4 minus j. Then I'm going to group the real parts together and the imaginary parts together. So let's do the real parts first. So here the real parts are minus 6 minus 4. Be careful, there is a negative sign in front of 6. How about the imaginary parts? Over here, plus j bracket. The first one will give me 5. The second one will give me minus 1 because this is minus j. Now we're ready to tidy up. The real parts become negative 10 plus j multiply into 5 minus 1 becomes 4. And so the answer is minus 10 plus j4.